Hello people, welcome back to this channel. As you already know, we take a look at AMC and many other stocks on this channel all the time. Obviously in this video we are looking at AMC. We have a lot to talk about. We're looking at the actual price targets and potential for AMC to rocket in the very near future. We're looking at some people who are saying that the stock price could hit 10k, even up to 100k or above. We're giving my personal thoughts and opinions on those. We'll look at the most recent utilization rates of AMC, which is a pretty big deal. Utilization rates now at 100%, which really is quite insane. So a lot is coming up in this very short video. I'm going to try and make it as quick and condensed for you guys as possible, but if you may enjoy it, make sure to give a like and subscribe because we are trying to grow this channel. You guys already know that we are killing it, so thank you for everything so far. We're about to hit 12,000 subscribers. It is insane. Let's hopefully get there by tomorrow if you guys can support the channel and share this video with as many people as you possibly can. As you probably already know, I am not a financial advisor. I'm sure you're already aware of that, but I am just going to reiterate it both for my safety and for your safety as well. And of course, when we are talking about price targets and some people's opinions, once more, it is only that. It is only other people's opinions, and it is not guaranteed to be facts. It's just what other people think as well. But feel free to tell me your thoughts down below. Let's jump into this video looking at AMC. Now we're going to start off on this video looking at the more recent price changes, because so far today we are in the green by about 3%, so 2.86% we are up today. If we can have a quick look out to the one-day charts, we can see things have basically been kind of boiling down now for a very long time. Ultimately, the price of AMC has been increasing since February, which is a good thing. Right now the price does appear to have been leveling out around the mid $9 range, mid $9 range, sorry, perhaps even up to the $10 range, and again we do seem to be pretty stable in this current level. Ultimately, I am not too concerned about the price of AMC because, as we already know, that is not necessarily the most important thing at the moment, but in case you're wondering, that is what we are seeing today. The price now up to $9.56, which isn't a bad increase for today, and it is another step in the right direction. Now we have a lot to talk about from here. We are going to start off with the most important and the most recent. This is coming from Reddit/AMC. They now have their own community on Reddit, and it's talking about the utilization rate for AMC stock. Let's have a quick read. So this is a highlighted and screenshotted and then reposted tweet. It's coming from, or at least I believe it's a tweet, it is coming from Trey's Trades. You probably have already heard of him. He is on YouTube and he makes great videos on AMC all the time. Anyway, what he has mentioned down here is that the utilization rate is at 100%. He says, F yeah. Shares on loan are 152 million. Percent of free float is 36%. So there we go. This is a big deal. It shows that obviously the utilization rate is at 100%, which means there are not really any more shares to borrow. Now this is really quite significant, and now we are going to see potentially an increase in price. As people have said down here, there is a lot of potential for it to go very, very high, and this is what I am saying when I'm talking about price targets of potentially, $200, even up to $100,000. A lot of people do think this one is going to 1,000, 10,000, maybe even 100,000. It isn't impossible, and we're going to talk about this in just a moment, but yes, now we are in a very interesting territory with a 100% utilization rate. A short squeeze could be coming anytime soon. Now we're going to look more into the details and the maths of the short squeeze in next episode. Hopefully that will be out as soon as tomorrow. We're going to be breaking down everything in that video. I was going to do it in this one, but I just thought it would make it a bit too long. But there we go, that should be coming out tomorrow where we'll look at the maths. But there we go, 100% utilization rate is fantastic. Let's have a look at the short rate because the short interest for this stock isn't doing too bad. Let's move up to here where we can see short volume ratio is at 30%. We can see the short volume is around 8.08 million, the market volume 26.9 million, and obviously that is equating to a short volume ratio of 30%. If we scroll down a bit, we can see a bit of a document, or at least a bit of a look at some of the images, but let's first have a quick moment to take a look at the short shares ability. The short share ability right now updated 9 minutes ago. Let's update this once more, but so far it is at 200,000 shares. This really is not a lot. There are not too many short shares available anymore, and again this just shows that the amount of short shares are being run out of. Now apparently this is being updated every 30 minutes, so it definitely does have the potential to change at any moment, and it could definitely go to zero pretty soon. And this is quite remarkable once more. it shows another step in the right direction. So let's take another moment to have a quick look at the short interest for this stock. We can see it up here in this image where it shows the short interest has basically been on a pretty stable level for a long time now. Obviously right now we can see that it is once more in a very decent territory, which is fantastic. So short volume ratio is still quite high, which is good. There is some big potential for this one to short squeeze. Let's move on now to this article from Reddit. Now this is where we come into the more opinion based part of the video, because this is literally just somebody on Reddit with an opinion. So don't take this as guaranteed fact, it's just what somebody believes, and of course what other people down below may also agree with or disagree with. So again, this is not my opinion, it is coming from the Reddit user Fabulous Collection 7, which uploaded this to r/AMC stock 1 day ago. This article is called AMC 100k Fact Check. It's to put your doubts at rest. So this is listing some of the facts and some of the potential which could see AMC go to $100,000 per share. It sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but you know what? Who knows if it is or is not going to happen? You guys may or may not remember from previous episodes, I do own shares of AMC. I own about 89 shares of AMC, so of course not the most. There are people who own way more. That's just my personal share count. I definitely would add up to 100 shares, if not more. Next time I actually get some capital to invest in AMC, I definitely might push this one up above 100 shares, but there we go. Anyway, getting back to this, what we can see here, we can see the first reason why this does have potential to happen, according to this person, is because yes, they can afford it. Forced liquidations plus DTCC insured $2 trillion. So again, people saying that they can't afford this one. This person is saying that yes, they actually can afford it, and it is not impossible. So I definitely do agree with that point. There is some potential that this is the case. I think it's not impossible that we could get to 100k from a financial standpoint. Of course, with the amount of people shorting this stock, there is potential for it to absolutely happen. Again, it just depends if the people who are holding this one long term, trying to trigger that squeeze, are willing to see it get that high, and of course are willing to hold for the amount of time. Because as I can see going forwards, as soon as the stock does hit 1k, 10k, 100k, or even let's just say 1k to 5k for example. If this one short squeezes up to 5k for example, a lot of people who bought maybe 1,000 shares of this, 10,000 shares of this and put their whole life savings into it, if it was to go to 5k, they would make a tremendous amount of money. And the question is, would these people sell out of the stock at that level, or would they really have the quote-unquote diamond hands to hold it past that and see the price continue to rocket? And ultimately, it does depend on the quote-unquote apes who are holding this one to see how high this one is basically going to go. Anyway, moving on to the second point which we have down here, we can see no, the economy won't crash. New DTCC rules protect good players and feds will print cash, nothing new. Again, this is fairly standard to be honest. It's not necessarily the most important piece of information from this article. It is just somebody's opinion once more, but there we go. And we can see the person is also saying yes, they will buy at ridiculous prices. Algos will do all the buying and shares must be covered ASAP. More widespread damage to drag it on. Again, this is something which definitely could potentially happen once more. People are saying this as well. The longer this goes on, the worse it will be for the hedge funds and for the people shorting the stock. And again, this definitely could be the case. They probably will buy at ridiculous prices. We already know that when they have this much money, they do have the potential to do things like this, and it may not work out for them long term. We can see here the fourth point is no, it will not cause hyperinflation. The Fed only pays a portion. Again, nothing new. US dollar is the world reserve currency. So again, once more, nothing new, not really too significant. We're focusing mainly on the details specifically around AMC stock and breaking those down. We can see here, yes, a stock with just 10% short interest, which was CRV, which started back at $300 and squeezed to 30k in 2008. So one thing about this, guys, I'm not saying it is important or not important. It does give us hope, don't get me wrong, going from $300 to 30,000, but I think it is important to note, whilst AMC does have this potential for sure, to say, this stock called CRV did this back in 2008, there are a lot of variables between CRV and this stock, obviously, and I think that is the important thing to remember. So yes, don't lose hope. It's not necessarily saying that AMC cannot squeeze, but I just think it is important to take into account that there are differences between all stocks and different factors which mean that this one could squeeze as high, less high, or even higher in the future. So again, not guaranteed, but this is an example that this person has used. We can see here, nothing can stop us but short ourselves. We own the float. Have you seen the short borrow fee rate? A big deal here, and I do agree with this person. Again, this is what I mentioned just a few moments ago. If people are willing to hold this one to the highs that we could be seeing of $10,000, perhaps even beyond that, if people keep holding, we definitely could see the share price continue to rocket. Guys, as far as I'm concerned, the majority of people who hold AMC in a long position are obviously these quote-unquote apes who really do want to see the price rocket. Again, it depends if they do have these diamond hands to see this one go to 100k, if not more, to see whether it will realistically happen, but there we go. There is some potential for that, I do believe. You know, it basically is in the shareholders' hands right now to see what does happen with AMC stock. So moving on a bit lower, we can see, yes, you will be immensely wealthy while bringing justice upon some nasty villains of our financial system. I would assume that is referring to the shorters and the hedge funds. Again, some people think these are nasty villains. Some people think these are okay people. I'm not going to get into that, perspective. I don't think it's great what they are doing with AMC. But again, if it does make a lot of people rich and teach them a lesson, well, there we go. Again, a lot of people are going to say this is good. A lot of people are going to say this is bad. I'm not going to get involved in that point because that is quite opinionated. And of course, I'm not really here to make that assumption. No, 1k is not enough to make 1k is not enough to make baby apes with sub 100 shares, newly minted millionaires, no apes left behind. Again, like I have just said before, I have less than 100 shares. You can call me a quote-unquote baby ape if you would like to. Again, like I said when I was getting into AMC, I'm not going to pour too much money into this one. I know it does have potential, but obviously for me, I just bought a few shares just to see what happens with this one over the short term. Again, I am thinking that I might add more shares in the next few weeks and days, depending on what does happen. But guys, obviously I'm not buying over 1,000 shares. I might add up to like 150 shares and call it a day there. I'm not looking to add a few thousand shares or more than that. So yes, it definitely will not make me a millionaire if this one was to hit 1k where we are right now. It would, from my perspective, make around 89,000 obviously. That is not a bad amount of money to be up by, and I definitely would be happy with that. But of course, a lot of people who are here, they are not looking for these small gains, or at least these realistic gains. A lot of people looking for gains which would bring them in 800k, which would bring it up to 10 grand per share. Some people even looking to become multi-millionaires with AMC, and for that, yes, we would need to hit $100,000. So there we go. Some people really do think that is a potential. Moving on, we can see the person has said, yes, you can hodl some bananas until we get there. So that is obviously just a joke. We can see, no, you will not want to be regretting selling early AMC to 100k. Again, this is somebody's opinion, but I think that they do bring some interesting points to the table. Things which I really do want to focus on here is that, yes, we have seen short squeezes go high in the past. And again, even though AMC does not necessarily meet the same criteria or have the same potential, it has happened in the past and it definitely can happen in the future. Don't think it cannot. Another point which I do want to bring our attention to is the fact that pretty much, yes, the apes, or at least the people who hold AMC, they do own a lot of the float and it is really in their hands right now. Nothing can stop them but themselves ultimately, and I think, what, that is true. So there are 2 points which I do want to focus on. I think that AMC does have a lot of potential, as I have mentioned many a time in the past, and I think right now, is AMC a buy? Personally, I would say it is. Again, is it a buy from a fundamental standpoint? It could be, it absolutely could be, but I wouldn't be going into this one for a fundamental standpoint. I think it's not a bad buy from a fundamental standpoint, don't get me wrong, but obviously if you're buying AMC, you're not looking for gains of 10-20% in a year, you're looking to be up by a few thousand% in the next few weeks and months, and that is okay, but obviously subsequently I would not buy too many shares of this one. Make sure you have your risk management in check, as I always do say, but yeah, I think it is interesting. So it's not my personal opinion that AMC could go to 100k, I think it isn't impossible, it's definitely not, because right now in the markets, we already know things don't need to make sense to happen. We've seen this time and time again, and of course, as AMC does build up more and more interest, the potential becomes more and more likely. We've seen things right now like 100% utilization rate, which do back up the potential for a short squeeze. Again, how high it does go is in our hands. So that is an interesting point which I'm going to leave us on, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.